Okay, so in this lesson, we are going to simplify complex expressions again. This time we're going to include invisible ones, and I went ahead and threw in a little bit more complicated multiplication. So we can read this as 2 times x plus 3 plus, you see how this has a parenthesis right here? Well, I like to put a 1 here. Plus 1 times x minus 4 plus 10x. I forgot that time. So we have 2 times that I read multiplication. Now I start off with 2 times x plus 3. And then I add 1 times x minus 4. And then I add 10x. So we have 3 groups. In example 2, it reads 2 times 6w minus 4 minus, see how this parenthesis? Minus 1 times w plus 1 plus 3. So let's go ahead and box this. 2 times 6w minus 4 minus w plus 1 plus 3. So once again, we have these 2 places for multiplication, and we have 3 groups. So in this one, it reads negative x plus 2, but remember, if nothing's there, negative 1 times x plus 2 plus 1 times 2x plus 5 minus 1 times x plus 4 minus 1. So we have 3 times where I read 3 moments where I read multiplication, and I start off with negative x plus 2, and then I add 2x plus 5, and then I take away x plus 4, and I take away 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. Let's do it again. So we have, I'm just going to go through and put all my all my ones first. Right there. So 5 minus 1 times y minus 4 minus y squared plus 6 plus 1 times y minus 3. So 2 multiplications. So we start off with 5, and then we take away y minus 4, and then we take away y plus 2, and then we add 6, then we add y minus 3. So 1, 2, let me see this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 groups. So this one reads 5 plus, remember, put the 1 times 3x plus 4. So we start off with 5, and then we add 1 times 3x plus 4. So we only have 1 multiplication, 2 groups. Example 6 says 4, before I do that, let's put in the 1. Okay, so now it reads 4 minus 1 times 2w minus 1 minus 7. We start off with 4. We take away 2w minus 1, and then we take away 7. So we had 1 multiplication, 3 groups. Let's put on our 1s right here and right here. So we start off with negative 1 times x plus 4 minus 1 times x minus 2 plus 1. So we start off with this negative 1 times x plus 4, and then we take away x minus 2, and then we add 1. So we have 2 multiplications, 3 groups. Let's put our 1s. So negative 1 times 4w, negative 1 times x plus 3. We start off with 10. We take away 4w, we take away 2 times 4w, and then we take away x plus 3. So we had 2 multiplication and 4 groups. Okay, so the last 4 on this part. So I'm going to find my 1s right here, and I start off with, let me just go ahead and put the multiplication there. So 10 minus half times 4w minus 2 plus 1 times, okay, so I have 2 multiplication. So we start off with 10, and I take away half times 4y minus 2, and I add negative x minus 1. So we have Multiplication here and here, that's how I got the 2, and now I have 3 groups. Let's see. So there should be a 1 here, there should be a 1 here, and even here we can put 1. So 9 minus 1 times, minus 2 times, minus 1 times, plus 1 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Multiplication. Start off with 9. We take away y squared, or y times 2. I meant for that to be squared, but whatever. Minus 2 times x plus 4 minus x squared minus 4 plus 1x. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. We're almost done with this part. So I'm going to write my 1 here. I'm going to look for my multiplication. Okay, so I start off with 7. I take away w squared plus 3w plus 4. I take away w squared, and then I take away 6. So I multiply that 1 time, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. Now let's go ahead and look at this next one. We can even put 1 here. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. So 1 times 3y plus 7 minus 1 times negative 5y minus 1 times. Okay, so I have 3 multiplication. I start off with this group, and I take away this group, and I take away this group. 3. Let's go to that next part. So let's use this, what we just learned. So I like to make multiplication here. I like to put my 1 here. Oh. So let's step back. Let's always put the 1 first. Okay, now we can put in the multiplication. 2 times, 1 times. And then let's go ahead and make our groups right here. And then we add x minus 1. So in this group, I'm going to have to simplify my multiplication. I'm going to use the distributive property. So 2 times 3x is 6x. Positive times a positive is a positive. 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So I'm done with this group. I'm finished. I'm going to look at this group. So a positive times a positive times a positive is a positive. 1 times x is 1x. A positive times a negative is a negative. 1 times 1 is 1. So this came right here. And let's just combine like terms. 6x plus 1x is 7x. And plus 8 minus 1 is, so 8, positive 8 minus 1 is 7. Positive 7. So I like to cross these out and then leave those. Okay, let's look at the next problem. So this is pretty much the same problem, but it has a subtraction right here. So if you notice, this plus didn't do anything to x, didn't do anything to the negative 1. Let's see what happens here. So let's put the 1s first. And then 2 times, negative 1 times. We have this group, and we take away this group. So 2 times 3x is 6x. Positive 2 times positive 4 is positive 8. So a negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times x is 1x. A negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 1 is 1. Let's go ahead and combine like terms. 6x minus 1x is 5x. 6 minus 1 is 5. And then, let me go ahead and write that here. Okay, and then plus 8 plus 1 is plus 9. Remember, we're combining right at this point. We're not multiplying. Here we multiplied. Here we added and subtracted. Here we multiplied. Here we added and subtracted. We have 2 more examples. So I'm going to look for the 1s. 1. Look for the 1, 1. Okay. And multiplication, multiplication. Let's go ahead. We start off with 10. We add y squared. We add 1 times 4y minus 2, and we subtract 1 times y squared plus y. So this 10, I mean, it doesn't really do anything because it's just 10, right? I want to write it. I'm actually going to give it more room just in case. And this y squared doesn't do anything either. It's just plus y squared. So a positive times a positive is a positive. 1 times 4y is 4y. So I'm going to write that arrow here. A positive times a negative is a negative. 1 times 2 is 2. All right, let's do this one here. So a negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times y squared is y squared. A negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times y is y. So I'll put these in for the notes. Now I'm going to combine like terms. So if I put y squared and minus y squared, remember I'm adding and subtracting, I'm combining. Y squared, if you prefer the 1, we put a 1, we put a 1 here. Plus 1y squared, minus 1y squared, there's 0 of them. So we just don't write anything. And then plus 4y minus 1y. 4 minus 1 is 3y. And positive 10 and minus 2. Remember, that's a positive if you want to write that. 10 minus 2 is 8, positive 8. Last example, let's write in our 1s, right here, right here, right here, right here. We have a lot. Multiply here, multiply here, multiply here, multiply here. Start off with 9. We take this away. We take this away. We take this away, and then we add this. Okay, so 9 can come down here. A negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times w squared is w squared. Okay, a negative times a positive is a negative 1w. A negative times a positive again is a negative. 1 times 4 is 4. Oh, this group right here. Negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times w is 1w. Negative times a negative, so I'll write this one first. Negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 4 is 4. And lastly, a positive times a positive is a positive 1w. So 9, let's start with the largest term actually. Largest exponent term. This one right here, there's no more, we just bring it down. Don't forget the minus sign. When we put it in front, we say negative. We're done with that. I'm going to mark I guess I have to mark it out somewhere, right? Okay. We have negative 1w, negative 1w, plus 1w. So we know that plus 1w, minus 1w, these are just going to go away. So we end up with negative 1w, so minus 1w in the middle of the expression. And we have, let's draw these arrows first. And then we have 9 minus 4 plus 4. So we know that minus 4 plus 4 gives me 0. And I know that 9 just stays 9. So you can do 9 minus 4 is 5 plus 4 is 9. You get the same thing. It is convention to leave this 1 out, so your simplified version should read negative w squared minus minus w plus 9. This should be how you leave it. Thank you.